Some stories are just way, way too impossible to make up. And this is a true one, and I've got proof. I'll show it to you in a second. I wondered what my dead wife's evil sister was up to. She was unquestionably the most sadistic and evil woman on the face of planet Earth. Just richer than sin. And when I told her, like a few days before my wife died in the hospital, I said, look, you got to fly down here. You know, it's not like she had a job or anything. She was just filthy rich. She could have flown down and seen her sister before she died, i.e. my wife, and she said no. And that was not why she was evil. I mean, that was one reason among many thousands. Of course, this is her child. I wasn't going to look for her child. She just happened to pop up. And I remember, you know, I've got nothing ill against her child. That's why I blacked out her face. Hold on a second, I'm not a stalker, so hold on a minute. So I happened upon this accidentally, and then I thought, holy shit, are you kidding me? I actually gave her tips, you know, back when I met her a few times on photography, and she was very interested in photography. My wife's evil sister's daughter. Okay, so, you know, I haven't heard from her and any of them since they're so evil in countless years, and you know, I blocked out her face. I didn't want to show you that. That's not a good thing. I mean, I think she's in her early 20s now. But I was like, holy crap, look at the picture she's holding. And that's not a picture of her mother. That's a picture of my wife. She always called my wife Niecy. And I'm like, wow. And it turns out that now that I was stalking her, I was like, what is she up to? You know, she's a photographer. It's like, oh, she's shooting, you know, she's got a full-time job shooting models on the runway in Europe. Like, awesome. You know, you go, girl. You know, your mother is like an evil, you know, disgustingly horrible, most, you know, vile, sadistic woman on the face of the earth. I mean, literally. I mean, I've seen some really disgusting, vile people. Maybe that's why she lives in Europe, to get away from her mother. Not that I care. So I've got nothing against her. But, you know, I wasn't even looking for her. And then I saw this picture of her in Europe, and she's holding that picture. Now, here, I know that picture well because it's a picture of my wife. I know you can't see it very well, and it's as large as I could get it. But if you see that little picture she's holding, it's that picture of my wife. It's like, she's not holding a picture of her mother. She's holding a picture of my wife, who's, by the way, her ashes are about 20 feet from me in the other room. And it's like, wow. You know, then it makes you wonder. I mean, when people look at a picture, they wonder the story behind a picture. And, you know, you wonder, you know, is she holding that picture because, you know, she loved... And this is a recent picture. My wife died... Ooh, it's been 5 years now. You know, is she holding that picture because her mother never let her get to see my wife before she died? Or, you know, I know for a fact that her mother kept her away from seeing my wife. And, you know, no, for no logical reason. I mean, my wife was a good girl, no drinking, no smoking, you know, no nonsense. So, you know, they never had a falling out. She's just one of those genuinely evil persons. I'm like, my God, that woman, you know, I haven't seen this picture in a couple of years, but I know it so well, and that's the picture she's holding in her hands. And she must have taken my photography tips to heart, because now she's, you know, a semi-famous fashion... I had no idea what she was doing, and I wasn't even looking for her. So now she's, you know, a really awesome fashion photographer in Europe. And it's like, wow. See, here's the other picture. You know, obviously I have many different poses. I didn't take the picture, obviously. Yeah, actually it was, you know, kind of an odd marriage. My wife fell in love with me for my mind, and, you know, it wasn't a conventional marriage. It's not like we slept together or anything. You know, I took care of her, and she didn't have any money. You know, so it wasn't about money, obviously. Here's another picture. You can obviously tell it's pretty old, but that's also a picture of my wife. And very lovely. And there's another picture of my wife. But, you know, I have no idea why I wanted to look up my dead wife's evil sister. Other than the fact that it's like, I wonder whatever happened to that old, evil, vile witch. I mean, she literally lacked everything other than the broomstick. I mean, just pure sadistic evil. Without cause, It's okay to hate somebody if, like, they're a murderer or they're evil, and, it's okay to, hate somebody that's vile. But, my wife was, like, clean swept snow as far as the life that she led. So that's the picture in her hand, and she's holding a picture not of her mother, which I can only speculate about, but she's holding a picture of this picture. I'm sorry I can't get it any larger, but that is the picture. You couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. This reminds me of being on the other side of the earth in Moscow, and a gigantic bustling city, and I run into a buddy on the streets of Moscow. It's like, God, I ran into you on one of the world's largest cities on the other side of the earth. How impossible is that? So there's the story of a picture. I hope I didn't bore the tears out of you. Obviously, it's really only important to me, but stuff like that's a shocker. Now I can only wonder why she's holding a picture of my wife. It only makes you wonder, huh? Such is life. Some things are better left unknown. I like the mystery, It's kind of like seeing too much. It's like I've seen too much. I don't want to know everything. I like a little bit of mystery in life, so I'll leave it at that. So, anyway, I thought you'd find that interesting. If not, then I bored you to tears. Whatever. I thought I'd tell the story. Thank you, and I hope you all have a nice evening.